It wouldn't be Attack on Titan if there were characters within this series keeping secrets from everyone else. How's it going, guys? Hope your Saturday is going great. I just got done watching Attack on Titan Season 2, Episode 5, 30 in total, which is crazy. We're already up to 30 episodes, but this episode right here was damn good. I really enjoyed this episode. First half of this episode is very heavy on the flashbacks between Ymir and Christa, or should I say Historia, as we come to learn throughout this episode that Christa, that's not her real name, and it turns out by the end of this episode, and even by the title of this episode, we come to learn that Christa's real name is Historia. She descends from a noble lineage, and it seems to be like the bastard child, from what I gathered from this episode, so she's not really like a pure blood from the noble line, and everyone within the interior, especially with the priests on the walls, kind of just discarded her, make her take up a new name, a new life, a humble life, as they tended to put it, and then just sent her into the cadet corps where she was just going to live out her life, like out of reach from noble society, which it's very interesting. I definitely want to learn more about Historia. I got to get used to right now, it's not saying Christa, but saying Historia. That's going to be something to get used to right now. But Historia is very interesting to me, and I definitely want to learn more about her character. But the same thing can be said for Ymir, because Ymir throughout this entire series so far kind of just was in the background, and it isn't until season 2 right now that we're finally delving into the side characters like Connie, with Reiner, with Historia, with Ymir. There's so much more that we have to learn about these characters, and Ymir and Historia are the top 2 right now that I definitely want to learn more about, because starting off at the very beginning of this episode, I just want to talk about that flashback sequence. There's not really too much to delve into, but it was very nice to see a lot of the dead characters, you know, that appeared in season 1 that ended up dying. They reappear because this is a flashback to when they're training in the cadet corps. So it was very nice to see characters like Thomas and Marco. Marco, it's like right now his death is still a mystery, but it was very nice to see him as well. But the majority of this flashback consisted of Ymir and Historia, or Christa as we come to know her, you know, just trying to save the cadet Daz, which was actually funny to even notice, like once it was revealed who Daz was, because I had trouble remembering, like, who the hell was Daz back in Attack on Titan Season 1? But it was that coward that just didn't want to fight anymore and was just like crying and just yelling at everyone, just saying like, I'm not going out there to fight Titans. But Christa and Ymir have a very interesting dynamic, because it turns out, you know, like we learned, Christa is not her real name, and she is like cast aside from the interior of her noble lineage, and she's just trying to live a humble life. And Ymir categorizes her character very well, I think, within this episode, is that she's always doing these nice things. Whenever you see Historia throughout season 1, she's very nice. She likes to help out people, and she just wants to be known as this good girl. So in this episode, Ymir calls her out on her bullshit, basically saying like, you don't want to save Daz. You're just trying to act the hero, and you don't care if you die in the process. And so you just want to look the part, and saying like, when people find you dead or find your body, they're basically going to look at you saying like, well, at least Christa died a hero trying to save Daz. And even like Historia is just like, how do you know all this? And we even come to learn more about Ymir, and it's just very interesting how she was within the interior, overheard about Christa or Historia, and then went to go find her. And then, you know, she tosses Historia aside and ends up saving Daz all on her own. And what's very interesting too, they don't really show it, but she turns into a Titan and, you know, saves Daz, goes down to the village, and everyone else is like back inside. It was very cool to see that. But Ymir actually ends up giving this secret away to Christa. So what I can probably gather is that Christa / Historia knew all along that Ymir was a Titan, and she made the promise to Ymir saying that once she reveals herself to everyone around her, she will start living by her actual name and go back to living her real life. And that rings true within this episode, which is very, very cool. But then we actually go back into the main action, and I just gotta say, I love the mobility of Ymir's Titan. It's so small and so compact compared to a lot of the other Titans that this thing is quick. Like, it is just bouncing off the walls, going from Titan to Titan, ripping the napes of the neck, and is absolutely dominating a lot of these Titans. But even though that it seems that she's dominating, she still has to put up a good fight, because these Titans are not going down without fighting. And what's interesting to note is once everyone realizes that Ymir is a Titan, Reiner and Bertolt realize that this is the Titan that killed their friend in that flashback we got last episode. And so it turns out in my review of last episode, when I said that Titan kind of looked like Ymir's Titan transformation, turns out to be true. So I definitely want to learn more about why was it that Ymir ended up killing killing Reiner and Bertolt's friend. A lot of mysteries right now, so I'm very excited to learn more as this season goes on. But besides that, Ymir ends up saving everyone, collapses the entire tower on top of all these Titans, but then tells everyone like Connie, Historia, Reiner, Bertolt to grab onto her, and she ends up saving everyone, but then all the Titans, end up coming up from the rubble, end up attacking Ymir, basically destroying her Titan body, and then I love this part right now because Mikasa comes in, saves Historia from a Titan attack like a badass, comes in, we have the rest of the Survey Corps coming in and destroying all the other Titans, and this made me laugh because Eren, even though he's destroyed so many Titans within his Titan form, when he shows up, he gets his first Titan kill as a human, and he even says it out loud. He's like, alright, I killed my first Titan. I had to pause it real quick because I got a good laugh from that, and I was just like, holy shit, that is the first Titan that we've actually seen Eren kill just with his 3D maneuver gear. All other Titans he's killed was within his Titan form, so I got a really, really good laugh out of that, but Survey Corps comes in, decimates all of the other Titans, and then we're just basically left with everyone realizing that Ymir is a Titan, and then Christa revealing to Ymir, but also everyone else, her real name being Historia. So there's a lot of questions up in the air right now because I have a feeling that the next episode, because I don't watch the previews for the next episode, I like being surprised, but what I can probably gather is that everyone within the Survey Corps with like Eren, Hanji, Mikasa, Armin are now going to be questioning Ymir because I don't think Ymir is dead, because it leaves it very open-ended at the end of this episode, but since she's a Titan shifter, she can heal her body because we've seen Eren grow back his arm and legs, and Ymir, I think, can do the same. I don't think she's dead, so there's a lot of questions up in the air right now that Ymir and Historia have to answer for, because right now, the whole reason the Survey Corps arrived there was for Christa / Historia. So hopefully we learn more about her noble lineage and why it is that she was cast aside by her noble heritage. But then also learning the backstory of Ymir. Why is she a Titan shifter? How did she become a Titan shifter? And what's her role to play in this overall game of Attack on Titan? And why'd she kill Reiner and Bertolt's friend? Anyway, guys, I want to hear your thoughts on this whole episode, but also Season 2 in general. What are your thoughts on Season 2 so far? Because I gotta say, the animation and the music so far for this season have just been spot on, superb. I love everything that we've been seeing this season so far, but also your thoughts on Ymir and Historia, and where do you think the story's gonna be going after this episode? Because odds are, if you are a manga reader, you already know the story points and what's going to be happening in the future episodes. I don't know that right now, so give me your thoughts down in the comments below about where you think the story's going to be headed and any theories you guys may have. And if you guys are fans of Attack on Titan and feel like subscribing, feel free to do so. I would love to talk with you guys about Attack on Titan as it comes out each week, episode to episode. So that's going to be the end of this review, guys. I am really looking forward to the next episode and to see where our main characters go with this new information that they have. So until episode 6 or episode 31, which will come out next week, I'll talk with you guys then. All right, guys, see you later.